I'm Mauri Goins.
And I'm Dina Blair.
And we are single moms.
But we're also career women, friends, and daughters.
Living life for the first time just like our kids. This is Real Talk from the Carpool to the Crib. A podcast about single motherhood, black womanhood,
and everything in between. And maybe we can make your wait in the pickup line a little more bearable.
I'm Mauri Goins. I am a single mom. I met Dina with another married mom. And at the time, Dina was married, right?
Yeah.
You were married.
Yeah.
And we met at a place called Alpine Bakery.
Yes. And you were late.
As always. Well, no, not anymore. But
no.
Maybe back then.
Well, this is one of the things I love about you, is that you have always been such an amazing mom, and you were late because you were doing your daughter's hair.
Oh, hair.
So you wanted to make sure that her hair was done.
Yes.
Which that's a whole other story that we'll get to later.
Yeah, that's a whole other day.
But I'm Dina, and I am in the fitness and wellness industry, and I help people live healthier lives, but I also work with business owners who are in the fitness space, and I help them grow their business.
And Dina has been a huge asset to me growing my business. She tells me every day that I need to work on my business every single day. I'm an interior designer. I can make jewelry. I'm pretty much the Black Martha Stewart. I can do anything.
You are.
And she's constantly feeding positivity in me, making sure I'm working on my business. When I kind of deflect and work on 10,000 other things, she keeps me in line.
Right. It goes both ways, though.
It's
You've
great.
helped me become a better mom, for sure.
Oh.
So thankfully, we were introduced. How many years ago was that?
That was my son's high school basketball coach's wife.
Yeah.
And she invited us out to dinner and thought we would hook up and be really good friends.
Yeah.
And needless to say, we're still friends.
Yeah. We don't know where she is, though.
Yeah. Well, we wish her well.
We do.
Wherever she is, right?
Do.
It's all good. It's all good. I have 3 kids. Well, you know that anyway, but I'm telling the world. I have 3 kids. I have a son who's 34. Is he 33 or 34? I don't even know.
I thought he was 30.
Oh, girl. No. And he just got a new dog today, so we've got a new family member. Anyway, no. And then my daughter Mariah is 24, and Gracie's 18.
Yes. So I have 2 teenage girls, 17 and 14, and being a single parent, like literally single parent, because, you know, their dad moved out of the state, and so it's a challenge. And I realized, you know, just being friends with you and like maybe a couple other people, that it's so important to have a village around you,
absolutely.
which is why this podcast is so near and dear to both of our hearts, because women need to know, like, they have support and that they don't have to do it on their own. And that was me. Like, I felt like I had to do it by myself and was never really reaching out to people for advice or anything. I just really kept to myself, and my marriage had a little bit to do with that too, just like how I felt in that space. But anyway, this podcast I think will help women, single moms,
and
find
just
their power,
so they know they're not alone.
Yeah.
So I guess one of the best parts about this podcast is when you're a single mom, you don't have a lot of time.
No.
So we would speak every day.
Yes.
Going to school or
Every
coming
day.
From school.
Yep.
I think it was you, and I have another friend that I would speak to every morning. So maybe when I hung up with her, and then I'm like, I knew I could look at the clock simultaneously, and I'm like, Dina's about to call.
Yes.
Or I'm about to talk to Dina. And it was every single day. And I think that hour in the car was extremely therapeutic, right? So it's like I had my Starbucks sitting next to me. I was ready for the music to go off because it was like, Dina Blair, hello. Hey, girl, hey.
Right.
Hey, girl, hey.
Right.
What you doing?
Or I'd be like, girl.
Yes. It just depended. It depended on how the night was before, right?
Yeah.
It depended on how the night was before.
Definitely.
It depends on what activities the kids had before. I've been a single parent and raised all 3 of my kids in the house alone, although it wasn't financially alone. It was still basically doing all the work, all the activities, all the sports, all the tutoring, all the lesson learning, right? So my kids are like, yeah, Mom, we don't need a lecture today. But I'm like, that's the only thing I know how to do, right? I don't know how to do much. But
well, that's not true.
Give you a lecture.
You know how to do a lot, actually.
Give you a lecture on whatever that subject was you told me. So then I would, like, maybe want to scream, and you'd call me, and I'd be like, girl, guess what happened?
Yes.
Guess what they did?
Yes.
guess what the other mom did?
Mm-hmm.
And we have
and
stories
I just
to tell.
balance it out. Like, I feel like we balance each other out, because I feel like your kids are so much older than mine, and I've learned so much. And I do think, like, us being introduced by Tina, like, nothing is happenstance. Like, I think it was super, and the timing
was great
for us, because I think had we met when we were younger,
we'd be in jail. We'd be in jail. We'd be in jail. 2 girls from the Midwest in jail. I'm from Indianapolis, and you're from Michigan. Yeah. It's just not happening.
It would have been. So I think the timing.
We saved
was
a whole lot of money on bail.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Because we'd be the first one. Yeah, ready to go. You'll call me and you'll be like, just breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe.
It's gonna be okay.
Or you'll do your famous hand.
Yeah, it's going to be all right.
Yes, I'm ready to kill everybody, and you're like, yeah, don't do that.
It's going to be all right.
But I will say this. With my kids being older, it's kind of good, because when you give me the sports stories, or you give me the mom, I don't want to do this, and mom, I like this makeup and that makeup. I'm like, girl, I've been through it. I know.
Yes.
I know, but each generation changes. Because when my son had his generation, there wasn't even barely cell phones, right? There was no Life 360. There was no any of that. There was like, trust him, pray for him, pray on him, and hope that he picks really good friends.
Yeah.
With us now, we can kind of.
How do you think that changed the way you raised, like, him, like, not having, like, being able to have your finger on, like, where he is all the time, but then with the girls, even to this day, you can go and look on your phone and see where they are.
I think that realistically, like with my son, there were 2 factors. One was fear, one was faith. Right? So it's a gotcha moment. Like, right? I mean, I would tell him all the time, how am I going to trust you behind the wheel of a car if you won't tell me what's happening before we get to that point?
Yeah.
And I think that it was trial and error, right? I was really probably more strict on my son than I was my 2 girls, because he had to be a man. And I was a woman teaching a man how to be a man. And you can't really teach that.
Right.
You can pray about that. And you can pray that your Heavenly Father teach him how to be a man through So every time D would say something smart or do something to me, he might trip. Or he'd fall down the steps. Or something would happen. And then he'd look at me and I look at him and I'm like, I don't have to say anything, right? The best lesson is a bought lesson.
You taught me that.
Yep. When I say the best lesson is a bought lesson, I don't think that you learn by circumstances unless it costs you something.
That's right.
So I think a lot of parents need to allow their kids to fall.
Yeah, especially while they're still in the house.
100%.
Let them make those mistakes while they're still home.
Yes.
That's
and
safe,
I think that's
safe place to land.
One reason why you and I became such good friends, because our parenting skills were the same. And even though you were married at the time, your kids would come and go in the basement.
Yep.
And then Gracie would be in the basement until she was tired.
Yep.
And Mariah would be wherever she was at. And we'd stay here. We'd have a good time. We might drink. We might laugh, talk, and then cry. And then nobody drove. We just waited till the next morning and had one big sleepover, and everybody went home.
Yeah. And
we would talk about those things at the table, about how to figure out the parenting, about how to grow as parents, about, I've always tried to be a better mother than my mother was to me, even though I had a really good mother.
Yeah.
I just learned by mistakes. So it's like my grandmother used to say, if you touch that fire, you're going to get burnt. But when you're a kid, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. I ain't going to get burnt. I ain't going to get burnt. Touch the fire.
Right.
Your ass is going to get burnt. And so that's why I say the best lesson is a bought lesson. Because if it doesn't cost them anything, it doesn't really hurt them.
Yep.
Right? And if you pick them up every time, what are they learning?
Right. But you have to give them the opportunity to go out and make those mistakes. I feel like when they're still in the house, I feel like so many parents now just are trying to protect their kids. And I'm guilty of it too. But, trying to protect them. But it's like, let them make the mistake now, especially with my oldest getting ready. Like, she's going to be a senior this coming year. And I'm feeling like, okay, I got to make sure she's ready to be out in the world on her own. And she wants to go to Germany, which is not happening.
But it could happen because
not the first year, not her first year in college. But I want her to be prepared for it. So now we're coming into her senior year. It's like, is she ready? Has she made enough mistakes Does she know how to manage her time? And it's like being able to, you talk about faith, you have to know when to just be like, okay, God, I'm gonna let this go. Because my pastor told me that years ago when my youngest was just like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows how I'm kind of a little controlling. And
No.
He was like,
no.
You gotta let, though your children belong to God.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna be what God wants them to be.
And I think that's huge, because you have kids that are so under pressure.
Yeah.
When
lots.
you and I met, I think D was high school. He was with Greg. He was high school, and he would come in every day, because Greg was his coach.
Yeah.
He would come in, sit at the table, and do his homework. And he told me as he got older, he was like, Mom, you were so ridiculously hard on me.
Yeah.
And I was, because when he was a little boy, I used to tell him how to spell intelligent. And I was like, you're intelligent. You are strong. You are a child of the Most High King. I would put those words on him, and I would speak positivity into his life, because it was just me and D at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, okay, we got to make it. Like, right, we going to make it. Mm-hmm. And so I expected excellence when it came to his manners and when it came to things he did. And when he came home and told me he was going to go study in London, I was like, what?
That's right. Yeah.
I'm like, huh? In London? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to London. I'm going to 1 or 2 schools. And I was like, this is a movie.
Right.
Like,
I remember that.
Hello. And he went, and it was probably one of the best experiences of his life.
Yeah. Because
it helped him to form himself into who he needed to be.
Well, you prepared him for that, though.
And you're preparing your kids for that. So again,
I know deep on the inside I am, but on the outside it's like, oh.
Of course. Well, that's America. That's every parent now. It's like your parent having your kid take 79,000 AP courses, and they're like, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
That's real.
And nobody's listening. I'm struggling.
That's real.
I'm struggling, and nobody's listening. Mm-hmm. And I think I could have been guilty with that for my son as well. But again, I was a little different on D, because at the time it was just me and D. And I was like, boy, you're going to be the smartest person, the fastest person. I remember when he was in high school graduating, and we were sitting there, and it was the award ceremony, and they were like, yeah, here comes the math award. We were like, D got it. D got like a 99 point whatever. And they were like, such and such just got the award, was 104. We were like, well, D didn't get that. And so we sat there and we started laughing, and then the next thing we know, D got the sports award. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, we'll take whatever. Like, I'm still proud of you, baby.
Yeah,
you did
it.
You did it. So,
of course.
Yeah, but we, it's amazing watching you where I was 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't go out with you tonight. I've got soccer. I can't come here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Or they have a test, or, pick one. There's so many things.
And thank God their moms at home testing with them.
Yeah.
Thank God their moms at home studying with them.
Mm-hmm.
And you work full time. Mm-hmm. And you have your own business.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty incredible. And I think that's the glue that helped keep this vase of a friendship together since we met years ago. And we may not see each other every week.
Right.
And we may not be at every event, but we talk to each other every day. Mm-hmm. And that speaks volumes.
Yeah. And it's not like we don't want to be at the event either. It's just like so many other things happening. I think about back when we first met and we were sitting at the famous cover top table.
Yes.
And remember, like, you and I just sat there and she fell asleep on the couch. Mm-hmm. And we just stayed up literally all night.
Yes.
All night talking.
And I don't think that it was a mistake. I think it was meant to be.
And I was all bossy telling you who were your friends and who weren't your friends.
Oh my God.
Like,
that was the fun. You're like, no, that's not what you said.
I was like, she did
That's
what?
not what you said. What you said is, why are you their friends? Why do you talk to them? Why are they even around you? Why are they in your life?
That's low vibration. They're just like low.
Oh, that is so funny. Not the low vibration. Not the low. But it's true. But that's like the first awakening that I had to real life friendship. Mm-hmm. Because, I'm Miss Bubbly. Like, I've never met a stranger. I'll walk in talking to everybody.
Ooh, true.
And you're like, why are you talking? Why are you talking to her? And I'm like, yeah, you're like, that's not
That
good for your
doesn't make
energy.
me sound very nice.
But you are. And you're very real.
I am. Yeah.
And you're very real.
Yeah.
And
I think it's important you really think about who's going to be in your space, especially, and at that time, you know, my marriage was never really a great marriage anyway. Like, it didn't really start off like that. So I think I've always been like really protective about like who's going to be in my space. And I feel like, you know, who you're around is who you, that's how you maybe aspire, like to be like those people.
Correct.
You know, so when you have people around, like you can't save everybody. Like,
no. But you've taught me how to sift that in friendships. Like, you are my friend, and people will still say, who's Dina? And I'm like, one of my best friends, but she's not around with everybody. She don't really want to be around with everybody. She will come around with everybody when she can.
Yeah.
And you're the kind of person that's like, I don't need to be friends with everybody's friend.
At all.
Like, you're like, I don't need to do that. I don't need to be around all your friends. And I think it's important for women to have friends that are morally on the same fiber. Like, they have the same moral fiber. Like, the parenting skills, the life skills. I mean, we can't always pick each other's religions, but we can respect the religions. Yeah. I mean, I think it's important for parents to have other parents and other friends where they can rely on the advice they're given.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
It's so important, because when we grew up, we would get a whooping.
Well, I didn't.
Oh, I did.
I never had one. I had one because I ran in the street, but
you know how else that is, right?
Yeah.
Why? You want to say it?
Like this guy
Black
dated,
people would.
This guy I dated, he was like introducing me to his friends, and I don't know, we were trying to go visit like his parents or whatever, and he was like, I don't know, I'm just a little worried because she was raised by white people.
Hello, like black people, it's like, I said sit down. I said sit down. I remember Grandma Sadie's was like, don't touch that biscuit. You be like going. My Uncle Mike was grabbing the biscuit. She was like, don't touch that biscuit. Your mom was probably like, Dina, don't you touch that biscuit. I'm like, girl, please, don't touch the biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you are.
Maybe one.
No, do you remember? I remember one time when we first met, you and I were talking, and you were getting your kids, and you were like,
I snapped my fingers together.
I was like, is that your finger?
Yes.
And you're like, yeah. I'm like, girl, is that working?
It made them come. We could be anywhere. If I snapped, they came.
Oh my God.
That sounds horrible out loud right now when I say it.
No, but we had another friend when Mariah was playing volleyball. Her dad would whistle, and she would look up through the crowd,
right,
no matter where she was, and she heard her dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, Bill, you are the bomb.
It's better than yelling their names.
Yeah, I'm yelling.
Yeah,
I'm like Mariah, snap. And they're like, hello. They're like deer. They just pop out like, hello, that's my mom. They can. I could yell at Gracie from anywhere, or Mariah, and they're like,
yeah,
that's my mom.
I just snapped.
That's my mom. But yeah, that's different. So yeah, our discipline was a little different. You were like really, and remember, like, we would be on the phone, and I would tell you what happened the night before, and you're like, and then I'd hear you discipline your kids. You're like, now, honey, why would you do that? Now think about the thought in that. And I'm like, I ain't thinking about that. I'm not thinking about that. Look, I'm thinking about you didn't do what I said do. And you're like, yeah, let's work this out. And yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I
want them to think it through. I want them to think about, like, if you make that choice, like, what direction is that going to take you?
To a bot lesson.
In psychology.
To a bot lesson.
Right.
To a bot lesson. It's like having a cussing jar, right? Like, so let's put. Did we do that one time too? We were like, we're not going to cuss.
No, you did that one time.
Oh, did it work?
Yeah, for a little while. I think you gave it up for like.
I must have gave it up for
Lent.
Yeah, and I did great, and then I went back. Okay.
But it shows you can do it.
Oh, and I can, and I can, and I can, and it works for a short period of time. And then sometimes you just gotta say it. Sometimes now I don't want my kids to say it. I'm like, yeah, don't cuss around me. Like, that's another thing. Like, we weren't allowed to cuss around our mom.
Yeah, I've never been a big cusser. I don't think I cursed until I was like maybe like out of high school. Like big words, like F word.
I'm so
I don't think I said that. And it was like, I think it was a relationship I was in that push me to that point.
Yeah, I'm
Start
still
using
cussing.
that word.
I'm still doing it.
My friend calls them sentence enhancers.
When we first met and we were friends, and remember we would always go over to her house and we would have dinner, and she redid her whole kitchen. Do you remember that? She just like painted everything, redid everything, and I'm looking at you.
Added the
oh my God. I'm looking at you and you're looking at me and I'm like, what is happening right here, right? And I'm like, next time we're going to go to my house and you guys are going to stay over and we're going to fix up the basement for the kids.
Yeah.
And we're just going to have a big slumber party.
Yeah.
And you'd go to Costco and grab a pizza.
Yep.
And I'd get the wine, and we'd sit and talk, and we'd talk about everything from hair to clothes to kids getting their nails done to kids having a cell phone when it was time. And
it's like therapy.
Yes, it was. Like my kids had a little Firefly. Do you remember the Firefly?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God.
Is that a phone?
Yeah, it was a phone that could only call me.
Oh, yeah.
So Mariah's was pink, and it was just like call, and it was me. I don't even know if she ever used it.
I don't recall that.
Really?
I remember the Firefly, but I don't remember Mariah using a Firefly.
I remember it was like, no, my kids are never, no. We're like, okay.
Yeah. It's interesting dynamic, honestly.
Yeah. I think that.
I learned a lot from her, though. I have to say, like, I learned a lot from her as far as, like, mom stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
She
taught you how to use coupons.
Oh, my God.
You didn't know.
She taught us a lot. She taught us a lot. She taught us recipes. She taught us getting the coupon from Michael's before we got there.
Yeah. And Costco, like the little thing that comes up.
Yeah, but it was my mouth again with the all natural hair. Like, because I was really into Mariah having her hair done. When she was little, Mariah used to wear these two poofs, and she was known for the two poofs, these little puffs that she had in her hair. And I remember her dad would always say, why you got to fix her hair like that for every picture? I thought the poofs were cute, right? I didn't care, right? Yeah. And then as she got older, I had a lady come to the house and braid her hair, right? And that was always another thing with parents and black women. Keeping their kids' hair done.
Yeah.
Laying down their edges. Getting them done. And I think that was one thing I did wrong when I told her how to do her kids' hair. I think I messed up.
You think so?
Yeah, I messed up. I think I messed up on that day because I was like, well, Mariah wouldn't want to walk around with her hair looking like that. Oh. And yeah.
I will never forget that night.
Yeah. That was probably the beginning to an end. And Absolutely. I regret that. I don't regret much. I don't really regret that either. I
don't think you regret it.
I
think it was just maybe the way that it was said. Like you maybe would have said it different. Because that's the thing about friendship. I think it's important to be able to be honest. Now maybe if we were to go back, maybe it would be in a conversation between you and not with the girls standing right there. I think that part, because you asked them. You like, do you like your hair looking like that? Like you. You literally asked them the question, and I remember I was like.
That's another thing that is a conversation with parents. Like, right? With parents, like parenting is how your kids are presented, how your kids go out, how your kids present themselves to the world, right? I think it is a part of being a parent. And I think that a lot of parents don't want to get on their kids about the way they look and about the way they're presenting themselves to the world, because it's like, okay, but it's not okay. It's to me, and I mean, I'm going to get it for this. It's our first show. I'm going to get it. And we're introducing ourselves. But I'm okay if you don't wear your pajamas to Starbucks.
Well, yeah. But see, but you're a presenter person like that. Like you're interior design. You're like style people. Like that's you. You know what I mean? And so some people don't.
Pajamas are for the house.
I agree with that.
Silk bonnets are for the house.
100%.
Having your hair combed, whether your hair is all natural, because now my hair is all natural. Mariah, when she was younger, her hair was all natural. Mm-hmm. I had to utilize the braids. Gracie, it just for some reason don't want to wear braids. Dee wore his hair cut short when he was younger. When he got older, he just went with the braids, and he just, I don't know. I was like, okay, go ahead, baby. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Right? At that point, I couldn't control it. But while they're young and impressionable and going through whatever stage they're going through, I think it speaks volumes to be presented well. And I felt like her kids, and that's just me, I just felt like her kids were uncomfortable in their little space.
Yeah. You're like, don't you want to get your hair done?
Their hair wasn't done. I felt like they didn't think they were, I don't know if they felt pretty or if they didn't feel pretty, or, I mean, they were just very self-conscious about that.
I don't know.
And I just said it, and I shouldn't have said it, but I did. Yeah. I just think that, and if you can't figure out what to do, a braid, a poof, just a little pullback, just so that the baby feels pretty.
I don't think it really mattered. I don't think that was something that was really, I don't think it really mattered to them. I think other things were like,
I remember Eunice, a hairstylist that used to do my hair when I was little, she was like, whatever makes the baby feel beautiful.
Right.
And that's how I felt about her kids. And I bet you right now, everybody's hair is done.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody.
Well, no, yeah.
Yeah, because they've grown and they can do it.
Yeah.
Yes. But, okay.
For my hair growing up, since we're talking about being raised by white people, that was like so traumatic for me because my family did not know what to do with my hair.
But your hair is beautiful.
But my family didn't know what to, and think about it, that was back in the day. So it's like they're trying to use like all these different products on my hair. They did a pressing comb to my hair. Right. They did. What
Did
else?
that burn your hair out?
Yeah, it like broke my hair off. And I remember they tried to do like a curly perm in my hair too, like. So I'm sensitive to hair because.
So did you ever tell your mom about your hair? Did you and your mom have conversations about your hair, or did she just do what she wanted?
No, they would do my hair in 2 braids all the time. My hair was always in 2 braids, and I wouldn't let them do anything else to my hair. I was just like 2 braids. And I wanted to braid it all the way to the very bottom, so it was just like a little tiny bit of hair at the bottom of the rubber band.
How old were your kids when they started doing their own hair?
I mean, Kay started trying to do her own hair probably when she was like 5. But that's just her personality. Like I remember one time I was out of town for a conference, and my mom and my aunt came to watch the girls, and Kaylin decided to do her own hair, and they tried to hide it from me. She cut a big chunk of her hair out because the rubber band got stuck in her hair and she couldn't get it out, and she cut a big chunk of her hair out. Yeah. So she tried to do her own hair. She's probably like 5 years old trying to do her hair. Like I wouldn't let her go out like that, but it's like a balance because at the same time I want her to feel good about what she did.
Right.
'Cause she's being independent.
You want her to feel good about cutting it?
No, not cutting it, but doing her own hair.
Okay.
She took the initiative, and I don't want to be like, okay, let me just change all
Mariah's
that.
side ponytailed it in every headband there was. So that side ponytail lasted for like a decade. I was like, girl, we gonna do something else. But I loved her box braids.
Yeah.
Her box braids, she always looked neat, but Gracie was not having it. We had Maria when Gracie was little. And Maria would slick that hair back and put them bows on, and I would be like, "Oh my God, Maria, I love you!" Like, she was always neat.
Yeah,
she was always neat, hair done. And I remember when Mariah was little, sitting in the floor in Indiana, in our house in Indiana, and I had so many barrettes. Remember the barrettes? Like she had every color barrette with every outfit, and I was like, "Yeah, my baby's the jam."
Yeah.
And now look at those little pictures when she come running in the room. I'm like. Gracie was like, yeah, get rid of the bows.
Right.
Get rid of the bows.
Right.
I'm done with the bows.
See, but that's my point. It's like that was important to you, like having the barrettes and the bows and their hair done. And I think that for her it was the same level of priority. Which is true.
True. But I was still like, yeah, you gonna look right.
Yeah.
You gonna look right.
Yeah.
No
I agree
matter
with
what.
that. Especially when you get to a certain age, you can say to them without taking a jab to their confidence.
When I had Dee, I was a single mom. I lived in Buckhead, and at the time, cowboy boots were in. So I had a pair of black Dan Post cowboy boots and a pair of black Giorgio Armani jeans. When I tell you, baby, I wore them jeans every day with a different top.
You told me that.
My cowboy boots. But my son was cleaner than the Board of Health, right? He had everything he needed, right? He had a fresh cut.
Yes.
He had his little shoes on from Stride, right? I was like, D was like, good. But for me, I was like, I'm willing to sacrifice and keep on the same jeans.
Absolutely.
They were black, so hopefully nobody knew. They might have. I don't know. But anyway, he wore those every single day. And my grandma used to say to me all the time, it doesn't matter if you have on the same pair of clothes as long as they clean. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be the best pair. They just have to be a clean pair.
But that's what we do as moms, is we make that sacrifice for our kids. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
When you're in a household and you can raise your kids on your own, there's no input on the parenting.
Right.
right? So there's no, just let him go ahead and go to the party.
Right.
It's, I'm going to decide what's best for my kids.
Yeah.
And it's kind of non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Right? Even though that's not always the best thing.
Right.
Right? So I bounce it off of some of my friends, some of my neighbors' husbands. You know, I try to get the best perspective from everywhere that I can get it from to figure out if I'm making the right decision.
Yeah.
So that's
why it's important to have like a village, you know, have people that you can
I think
and that aren't going to tell you what you want to hear. Like that's why I have like a small group of friends. Like it's not a big, because I don't want to be surrounded by people, and I feel like I had this growing up a lot, like people just say what they think you want to hear and don't tell you the truth.
Well, I think this is going to sound really gimmicky, but it's not. That's one really important factor about the pickup line, because I knew when I picked up that line, after I dropped my kids off at carpool, I was going to hear the truth, whether I wanted to hear it or not.
Yeah.
Right? Whether I made the best parenting decision the night before or not, it was kind of like, as a friend, you were like, well, I probably wouldn't have said it that way, but
yeah,
I think that it was good. I think your intentions were good. Or I think that we should do this. Or I think there's another solution to the events that happened last night. And I think that's why it's so important for women to have a pickup line for whoever their person is that's picking up on the other line, to be able to talk about these things.
Yep.
To be able to talk about, last night was a rough night. Like, I didn't get to go out with my husband, or things didn't work out at soccer, or I really don't want to cook and my kids need to eat. I think those are really good reasons for after carpool to do the pickup line.
Yep. So when I first found out that I was going to be a mom, first of all, I didn't really ever plan on having kids. It wasn't really like, oh, I'm going to be a mom. I never really thought of it that way. Even when I was younger, I told my mom, I'm just going to adopt a little girl.
Aww.
And I never really had like a husband in the picture.
Yeah, but that's sweet. Even the thought of adoption is sweet.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
So then once I got married, you know, I had a bonus daughter at that point. And then once I got married, I was like, well, yeah, I think I do want to have a baby, you know? So, and I got pregnant quick. Like, literally, we got married, and then a year later, we had a big party because we got married in the mountains, so we didn't have like a big wedding, but a year later, we had a huge party with our family. Me and his family, like from, you know, Jamaica and everything. And my family came in town, obviously. And then, literally, probably a month later, I was pregnant. And so it was quick. And I just kept, you know, I didn't have my cycle that month, and I was like checked, and I was like super excited to know that I was pregnant. So, and I was excited. I remember as my belly kept getting bigger and bigger, I would like look in the mirror. This is gonna sound crazy, and I would be like, "How's she gonna get out?" Like, I would look to the side. No, just my belly was getting bigger, and I'm like, I don't even know how she's gonna get out of there. I mean, obviously I know how, but I was like, how is that going to work? Like,
how did she even get in there? Is all that fitting in there? That's so funny.
My gosh. And so I still taught classes. Like, I was, you know, still teaching fitness classes all the way up. And that's the thing. Oh, I was just like, it wasn't really how I intended. Like, I love teaching. Like, I'll probably be like 80 years old still telling people what to do.
You are very, very into the fitness.
So, yeah.
I think that you're the reason I get up and move my body, because I can hear you in the back of my head saying, you've got to move your body.
Your body's meant to move.
Yes, your body is meant to move.
Yeah. So I still taught classes, all the classes, and then I had like a little like incident where the doctor was like, well, no more like cardio. I could do like my strength classes. I couldn't really do the classes. I was still doing the classes anyway, and training clients up until the day.
Good for you.
I went into labor. So I was sick. I was so sick. I was like, I would like be lying in my office before I had a class to teach, lying on the floor.
Wow.
Sick, feeling horrible. And then it would be like, oh, I got to go teach. And I would just get up and go teach. So I'm a little resentful in the fact, like if I'm being totally honest, that I love teaching and I would have done it, but I had to. And I didn't like the fact that I had to. Like, that part wasn't like how I pictured it would be. And then with my second.
But I bet you didn't gain hardly any weight. Did you gain
I gained 50 pounds.
Oh.
50, not 15.
Oh.
I gained 50 pounds.
That was my third pregnancy, not
I gained
my
50
first.
pounds this spring. Now, granted, first of all, 21 hours of labor. After she was born, I had to make sure that she remembers it was 21 hours labor with her.
Oh. They don't care.
But
they have no idea what
that
means.
But it came off like that. Mm-hmm. And then my second, I started craving fried fish and hot sauce.
Oh, and you don't eat fried food. Yeah, her kids ate. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
fried
my kids
chicken.
never had fried chicken before until they came over here.
Good Lord, have mercy! I'm about to give these kids some fried chicken, even though I didn't fry it.
No,
they
didn't know what it was.
Yes, and they loved it. They were like, "Oh,
they peel the skin off.
We want to go back to Miss Mauri's house. We want to go back to Miss Mauri's house because she gives us fried chicken. She does all the things Mommy like. Yes, that's.
They never had it. I taught the whole time I was pregnant with my second too, which I love what I do, so I don't dread getting up in the morning and going to do what I do. Even
when you're pregnant, I think it's important. Even when you're pregnant, to keep your body moving, to keep yourself going.
Well, especially if you've been working out before you got pregnant. You can continue, but if you can't start working out once you're pregnant, that's not safe. But if you've been working out and you get pregnant, you can continue with it. They're just certain exercises you'll change.
For me, with Dee, I was so young. I was about to graduate from college, and I graduated from college with Dee in my belly. And I think that's one reason why he's so smart, because I was studying. Like, yeah, I'm coming. I remember I had on my Charles Rodin shoes. I was pregnant with and luckily, when I got pregnant, it was the trapeze look. So it was like the trapeze dress. I had my roller set.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I had my roller set.
Not the roller set.
Yes, with the roller set with my trapeze dress. I was like killing it in my heels. I still had heels on.
I wore heels the whole time I was pregnant, too.
Yes.
I did, too.
Yes. I'm going to keep my heels on.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep my heels on.
I did, too.
And when I found out I was pregnant with Dee, I was in college, and I remember having to tell his dad I was pregnant, and I was like, ugh. He already had a son. He had been married. He had lived in Indiana, and I lived in Indiana. And I had a whole new I met him when I came to Atlanta and didn't even realize he had played in Indiana. And then there was Dee. And I stayed really good friends with Dee's family for a long time. Me and his sister were really good friends, his aunt. And when I found out I was pregnant with Dee, Dee was born on his dad's mom's birthday.
Oh, you never told me this story.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
You've never told me this story.
Yeah, I keep a lot in.
You've never told me this story.
Oh, shoot, and a lot might come out. But anyway, I remember when I found out I was pregnant, I went to my two best friends at the time in high school, and I had one guy friend in college, and I had one guy friend, he'd been with me forever. Mm-hmm. And I had to go tell them, because I worked at the mall. And I had to tell them that I was pregnant. And my one friend was like, oh, okay, it's fine. And my other friend was like, oh, you're going to be on welfare. I was like, what? I was like, girl, stop. Welfare?
Why would she say that?
I don't know, but I wasn't. I don't know, but I wasn't.
She don't know you.
She's still my friend now. She probably going to laugh at this shit when she hear it. But anyway, I was like, baby, we don't do welfare. What we do is work. Mm-hmm. We don't do welfare. We work. So I remember the whole time they kept telling me Dee was a girl, and my mom came down and my sister came down, and I lived in Buckhead, studio apartment. I gave Dee the living room. I took the bedroom, and my sister and I put up Dee's nursery, and we went to Neiman's and we got all his bedding, had everything fixed. I was working I had a decent job. I was making commission selling shoes, so it was still a decent job. And my oldest sister came down, helped me fix up Dee's nursery and everything. And we had everything all pretty and pink because the doctor told me Dee was a girl. I will never forget when I got to the hospital, my mom was like, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy. Everybody just started reacting through the whole room like, it's a boy. And this is the best thing. Before I got back to my apartment, bringing Dee home, my mom had changed everything from pink to mint green. So Dee didn't come home to a pink nursery. He came home to a mint green nursery with balloons all over the place.
That's so thoughtful. They know you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I was like, yeah, get this kid. I'm like in the hospital. Hospital with a full bun. Like back in the day, I had a bun. I had a full bun, lip gloss on, nails done. And I was like, we're not coming home to pink.
Right.
My mom had changed everything. And D was like our best friend forever. He was like our best friend. When I found out that I was having D, I was of course afraid, and I was of course scared, which is the reality of a younger person having a baby. I was like in my 20s, didn't have any idea what my career was going to be like. And so everything from that day was about D.
Yeah. That's the type of mom you are, though. Like, everything is about...
Was about D.
Well, about D, but even, like, after Mariah and G were born, is, like, everything is always about...
And you too.
The kids,
and
you know.
Too.
But I learned that from you. I mean, not to say haven't been that way, but maybe it's like it validates it for me, maybe. I'm not sure, but I look at, you know, how you are with yours, and I'm like, okay, that's priority. There's only a couple people I can say that
means a lot to me.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's a priority. What would Mauri think about this? What would Tammy think about this? Like, there are a couple people that...
And
you too, actually.
You know, I had another friend. She and I talked every day, and she's a white woman, so she gives me your perspective, like, right? And so different perspectives.
What does that mean?
No, that means like with the hair. When I don't know how to comb the hair, like when your mom didn't know how to comb your hair.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm trying to tell them how to comb their grandbaby's hair.
Right.
Their grandbaby was biracial. So
right.
I'm trying to explain all this. She was one of my other friends that it was like, I spoke to her going, I spoke to you coming.
Mm-hmm.
And she helped me out with that. But one of the things that she's always said is, you know, we can say a lot of things about me, but I'm a good mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to make the best out of parenting. I try to be, you know, not always their friend, like, but I try to be their parent. I try to be as understanding, but I was strict. And I'm probably still strict. Like, there's times that Gracie still says to me, at some point you got to let me go. Right. And there's times that Mariah and Dee go, well, Mom.
Right. We grown.
Mm-hmm. Like, when you tell me she can drive home. Like, you tell me, you're like,
I know, but
you're like, I think she can drive home, right? Yeah. I think she can drive home from college by now, right? But I remember when Dee was born, it was like, don't touch the floor. Don't do this. Get him in his high chair. Oh, don't touch my baby. I don't want him out without a hat. Oh, blah, 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 blah. That's the first child.
That's the first child,
That's
though.
the first child.
I was like that with mine, too. Like my ex would be like, you don't even let her touch the floor. Like, I would just carry her everywhere.
Yes. It's because it's like, I don't want the germs. I don't want my baby to get, you know, that to happen to my baby. And then the second child is like, oh, okay, Mariah, you got it. Gracie was like, girl, Gracie, go on, girl. Get your walker. Get your walker on. Get your walker on.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. So it's different. But when I found out I was having D, it just... I can't. It's a love like no other love.
Oh my gosh,
it's
that's
like
so true.
You look in that baby's eyes, and it's a love like it's unexplainable.
Yeah.
And I think that people, not just women, but women and men, need to understand it's a privilege to be a parent.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so many people make it a chore.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
It's a privilege, and that so privilege only lasts for a little bit of time. Mm-hmm. Because I look at D now, and I look at the fact that he's such a good big brother, and I look at the fact that he's such a good son.
Yeah.
I remember the first day that I saw him. Mm-hmm. I can remember the first day I saw him.
But you do realize that you created the family dynamic that you guys have. Like, you guys are so close. And it's great because everyone's so supportive of each other.
Yeah.
There's no competition, there's support, like... But my point is, like, you created that.
Yeah.
And then I look at that and I'm like, okay, I want to make sure that my daughters have that same level of connection, and like we are communicating with each other. Like, you know, it's so important because family is
everything.
It really is.
It's everything.
It really is.
When you have that baby and that baby hits the sheets, you speak words on that baby that you want to take root in his life. Mm-hmm. You speak favor over that child. Mm-hmm. You speak protection over that child. You speak blessings over that child. You speak positivity over that child. I've always been a firm believer, as a man thinketh, so is he. Right? And I get down myself some days. I'll be like, Lord, like I got to remember. But every single day of my kid's life, I pray favor over their life.
Yeah.
Every single day, I pray that God grant them favor.
Yeah.
From when Dee was little looking at me, and I wasn't married, and I knew I wasn't going to marry his dad, right? I knew I wasn't going to marry his dad. That's a whole nother show. Like, but anyway,
Girl.
I knew I wasn't going to marry him.
Right.
But I knew that he was going to help me take care of him.
Yeah.
Because I knew I didn't create him by myself.
Right.
So people can look at that however they want to look at it. But I didn't choose him. He chose me. I mean, he introduced himself to me. I remember the day I met him. I didn't run out to go try to find him and meet him.
Right.
He met me.
Right.
We created D, best creation on earth, right? I say that about all three of my kids.
Yeah.
Best creations on earth. So if somebody asked me would I do it all over again, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'd keep it the way it is. I'd keep it everything the way it is.
Yeah. Right. One of the things my kids talk about now, it's so interesting, like as they get older, they're able to really articulate how my choices as a parent have affected them. So when they would be, because obviously I was athletic director at a, high-end club here in Atlanta, and they would come to work with me. They basically like grew up there, and they would go into the kids club, and I wouldn't let them have, like, I shouldn't say I wouldn't let them have, but I was really particular about what they ate. If there was like dye in the candy. And so I wouldn't let them really have a lot of candy. I was kind of horrible now that I think about it. So I wouldn't let them have dye in their candy. And so literally, if they were in the kids club and they were going to have like a party or whatever, they would have to call me and ask. Like the people who worked in the kids club had to call me and ask if it was okay.
I don't think that's horrible.
Well, what I was thinking about was horrible is like when they were in preschool, there was this family that was like kind of trying to like be friends with us. And we were at this like festival or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, like our kids are friends, like you guys should come over and we can grill hot dogs. And I was like,
hot dog?
It's horrible, and I didn't mean it like a
only
like
you.
Like
I
you,
knew
like
you were like
eat
a hot dog.
But I was like, yeah, we don't eat hot dogs. But I could have been like, gone and like brought something.
They just didn't know you. But I don't think it's horrible for you with the dye situation.
Yeah.
And the reason why I don't think it's horrible with you for the dye situation is because of the ADD, the ADHD, and so many of the things that the dye does to kids.
Absolutely.
But I would laugh at you when the kids would come over here and I would have all this food and you were like, what's in that? Okay, hold on. Give me the jar. Let me read that label. Yeah. I'm like, girl, I didn't understand it then.
Yeah, but it matters.
But
like it really does matter. It does.
And that's why I don't question you when it comes to your expertise on nutrition, exercise physiology. I don't say nothing no more because I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot that the processed foods and the other foods really do affect the kids, their brains.
It does.
I used to think it was kind of crazy because I was like, girl, like what? I grew up on fried chicken, hog maws, liver and onions and gravy.
It was different when we were growing up,
I mean, we grew up.
It was different when we were growing up. The food
was
different.
Processed.
Yeah, it was different. And the stuff they put in the food now, like, I wouldn't change it, just so we're clear. Like, I would still be that mom, like, I don't mind them having that stuff at parties and stuff like at the kids club, but I would still want to know because those kids would be in there. I remember one time Kendall came out, her tongue was like blue. And I was like, why is your tongue blue? And she's like, oh, they went to Disney World and they brought back candy. And I was like, oh, okay, come on, we'll walk back in there. And I was like, why is your tongue blue?
See, like I don't think that I would have been able to do it, but Gracie would have been sneaking that candy, so I don't even know. Like and that's another thing with parenting. You pick or choose a battle.
It's true.
Like you pick or choose a battle.
Sometimes like you plant the seed, like literally the seeds are planted, and then at some point they make their own choices.
When we were little, I would go to the store. The Planet of the Apes was on, and I would get to go get penny candy. I would help my cousin Michael with the paper route, and I'd have my money, and I would go buy penny candy.
Yeah.
None of the food is the same. It's like Skittles.
Like the store, like the
crazy.
Neighborhood store. You guys go to the neighborhood store?
Yeah, we go to Target with Dr. Scholl's on, and we would go and get penny candy and stuff like that.
Dr. Scholl's.
Yes, Dr. Scholl's. Yes, and I would just like tell my kid, like when my kids were growing up, I remember a time where I was like, Mariah, you can have the Chick-fil-A nuggets, but you can either have the nuggets with the fruit or the fries with the fruit. And then when I got to Gracie, I was kind of like, I don't know that I was tired because I was still parenting. But I was kind of like, she was in volleyball since I remember. Like, I remember them handing her a volleyball.
I remember she started playing
when she was young.
Yeah.
And it was on the move. So when she played volleyball, in order for me to control the food, I became the food mom.
Well, you got to do your,
I became the food mom.
Yeah. I mean, that's an option. That's what you can do.
Not necessarily that I wanted to, but she was like, yeah, Mom, you'll pick good food. Like, and we did. But I think it's important, like you said, when they're growing up in the ages that are going to matter, when their brain is functioning and stuff like that, they don't need the red or the blue.
And we got to plant. We have to plant the seeds.
They don't need that. They don't need all that.
Yeah, we got to plant the seeds.
Yeah, you do have to plant the seeds. And like the best thing about planting a seed is it'll take root.
It does. And I'll tell you, because I remember one time when Kendall was at school and she wasn't feeling well, her stomach was bothering her, and the nurse was like, well, just have a peppermint candy. And she said, well, my mom said that sugar suppresses your immune system, so I don't know if that...
Oh, my God. She's going to be the next, Jesus, head of the FDA. Lord have mercy. And you would say that to me. It does, though. What happened? What did she do? Her inflammation will tell her that the sugar is going to not help with the inflammation. And I'm like,
doesn't help. It causes it.
You're encyclopedia physiology. Like, Lord have mercy. It's true. You're just like Barbie.
Food is medicine.
Yes. See? But I love that about you. I love that about you. I mean, I do. I love that about you.
You do make the best chicken wings, though. I don't eat chicken wings, but you do make the best chicken wings. The only person I'll eat chicken wings from is you.
But
and you bake them.
And they're baked.
And they're delicious.
And they're baked. I'm not a big fryer. And when your kids come over here and they eat the chicken wings that I cook, they are baked. Now, they might have sodium on them because I'm going to season them up. But
it's okay.
They are baked. Yep. They are baked. Thank you for listening to the Pickup Line Podcast.
On Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.